In the following section, we will take a more in-depth look at the individuals by the one and only Robbie Mitchnick after we have discussed the XRP ETF that will be published this year and the following year. To begin, let's not waste any more time and get started. Bitcoin worth $67,341. The current price of Ethereum is $3,593, $1.56%. That is a drop of 2.75%. Both the USDT and the USDC arrive at their respective dollar pegs when they are exactly where you would anticipate the main lien of XRP has dropped to 62 cents, a decrease of 2.45%. With regard to each of these coins, there is one thing that should be taken into consideration. We are striving to get into the green zone on the hourly chart. Is that something? Give the impression that the modification can be completed. Assuming that this is not the case, there are still opportunities that fall within the range of $63,000, give or take. It will be a while before we can see a rebound, people, because there are a lot of bids waiting to be accepted. Thus, it is imperative that we pay particular attention to them. One thing that I am certain of is that summer altcoins will correct themselves before Bitcoin hits its current peak. There is a close approach to 100,000. In all likelihood, it will be more than 125,000 at this point in time. At this point, what kinds of heights will Bitcoin reach? I've seen that some others out there have contributed, and there are a total of 250,000. However, I can't say for certain. What we do know is something that people are not aware of at all. The value of this cryptocurrency is very probably near to $7 trillion, and if we see a parabolic blow up top, that $7 trillion needs to explode otherwise. We might be close to $10 trillion for this cryptocurrency. Is it really possible for you to comprehend that amount of money? Bitcoin has not yet experienced a meteoric rise in value, thus picture $7 trillion being injected into the cryptocurrency markets, which is where your preferred coin is likely to go. However, despite the fact that I highlighted the villains in the first video, we have not yet witnessed a significant quantity of money moving away from Bitcoin and into these alternatives. A year like this ought to be really interesting. Due to the fact that they were purchased so rapidly today, there are not many left. Considering that this is a very limited and special collection, you will want to make sure that you get a spot and get started as soon as possible. The XRP credit card is accepted here. We just recently made an announcement regarding another metaverse agreement, and we were given a return of 30% for hold. In addition to that, there are a few additional strategic alliances planned. What is the topic that he is talking about? Ripple, you should keep up the fantastic effort. There was widespread agreement that an exchange-traded fund ETF for XRP is on the horizon. Bring to mind BlackRock. However, the question that has to be answered is not whether it will occur, but rather when it will occur. Regarding exchange-traded products, often known as ETPs, we already have one of those now available in other countries, but it is important to keep in mind that Sean McBride, a former employee of Ripple, forecasted that an exchange-traded fund ETF would be introduced in either 2024 or 2025. In addition, he forecasted that Ripple would launch its initial public offering IPO outside of the United States in the year 2025. This would be a reasonable prediction given that we think that the dispute between Ripple and the SEC will be resolved by the following year. To be clear, and we will get to it in a moment, but can you imagine an exchange-traded fund ETF for XRP that would be set for the first quarter of the next year, just at the beginning of XRP's last run and peak? In the event that this information becomes public, together with the money that was collected from institutions, how much higher could the price of XRP go if we put our minds to it? Take a peek at the tops of the parabolic blowup that could potentially result in XRP. If we were to make a profit of between $17 and $24, it would be an unbelievable turn of events. This is something that everyone agrees on a lot. Hearing what the chief executive officer of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, had to say in response to the question of what role XRP and the XRP ledger could potentially play in the liquidity issue in Al-Alavi is worth listening to. I like straightforward inquiries such as this one, even though you might not feel the same way. I would give you all of my XRP, but yes, I would do that. It is possible that this is not the case, given that Ripple is primarily concerned with meeting demand for money and the world is currently going through the most severe liquidity crisis in its history. In your opinion, what function does it serve? XRP, the XRP ledger, and other associated technologies are helping to mitigate the severity of crises of this nature. Therefore, if you ask yourself what causes crises of this nature, you will find the answer. A crisis of that nature has numerous inputs, and one of the dynamics is that there is friction. By the way, there are many inputs. Time is one of those things. Through the reduction of friction, which may be assessed in terms of both time and cost, it is possible to lessen the likelihood of encountering challenges with liquidity. In spite of this, I do not assert that XRP is a panacea that can solve all of these issues perfectly. As a result of the involvement, I have been extremely content because I believe that we will be able to successfully integrate into the existing system and more rapidly disseminate the technologies to a far larger audience than we would be able to do if we were to escape the system. We have actors such as the International Monetary Fund and central banks. Moreover, you are aware that Ripple will continue to collaborate with them. Among the many reasons that we made the declarations that we did, this is one of them. I am hopeful that if these technologies extend throughout correspondent banking and other businesses, it will be advantageous for any crisis that may occur. This week, they are creating a more physical presence here in Washington, District of Columbia, and I am excited about this development. Isn't that a question that piques your audience's interest? In addition to this, there is this, which is going to be of great significance when we discuss the initial public offering IPO of Ripple and this exchange-traded fund ETF that will be coming or that we have already seen outside of the United States. On March 22nd, the Securities and Exchange Commission is expected to submit its opening brief. It would be a few days later when the crucial portion of the litigation would officially commence, and Ripple would have until the 22nd of April to submit their filing. If the opposing brief had been submitted by the deadline of May 6th, it would have likely concluded this case. To what other things might we look forward by the summer? As a result, we anticipate that every coin will start to make a significant shift. It has even been claimed by XRP that it will make its initial move throughout the duration of the summer. JP Morgan also stated that the amount of money invested in the portfolio was 3.7 times greater than the amount of gold that was actually held. Isn't that interesting? What are your feelings? People have expressed interest in purchasing Bitcoin. As a result, they have little trouble gaining access to it. With the use of these exchange-traded funds ETFs, we are going to increase the number of ETFs that we launch into this market. I want to assure you that this will take place as soon as possible. There will soon be an exchange-traded fund ETF for Ethereum. There will be an exchange-traded fund ETF for XRP. Given the CryptBasket's exchange-traded fund ETF, the question arises as to how the general public will be brought to the cryptocurrency markets. I apologize, but you just can't compete with Aladdin. Aladdin is the name of the network that contains 5,000 supercomputers. That is the total blend. As a result of the perfect combination of human expertise and machine intelligence, the financial environment is undergoing a transformation. There is an offer from BlackRock to sell you access. You can acquire a ladder that will provide you with guidance on how to trade through BlackRock's membership service, which is available to you. Take note of Maj's direction. The people who are now using your services are doing so? The vanguard of Microsoft. Why is it so fascinating that Aladdin manages 4 times the value of all physical money, executes approximately 250,000 deals, and does billions upon billions upon billions of financial computations every single day? Fargo, Wells, American Bank, and the Citigroup at Goldman Sachs are all examples of interesting financial institutions. Exactly who is in charge of BlackRock's digital operations? Oh, the power of digital records. I am Robbie Mitchnick. Who is this Robbie? The Mitchnick, the former Ripper who worked for Ripple, is the one in question. The phrase "this is the checkmate" was something that Chad used to say. How come? To put it simply, he is currently working at BlackRock Financial Securities. The person in charge of digital assets is the owner of this. The website of Aladdin, your talent, and your secret are all presented here. Among all the computers in the world, Aladdin is the most powerful. Through the utilization of artificial intelligence in conjunction with these gigantic computers that are effectively advising you on when to trade and when to avoid trading. The perspectives that are now being offered by our platform with regard to the results of risk and return asset claims are, in essence, useless. Discovering insights across G regions, horizontal function plans, and even the Aladdin platform is something that organizations are looking for in order to unlock value and expand their operations. That would not be feasible without the Alani community. Can anyone remember Robbie? On the other hand, Mitchnick, in the time that they were both employed by Ripple Talking, Susan and I collaborated on the publication of the piece.